And now, please put your hands together for the founder of First, Dean Kamen.
Greetings. Greetings. I have some really good news for you. After 3 days of this, I'm losing my voice. For those of you that are not rookies, you know there's some pretty strong traditions at First, including every year we recognize some body or some organization for being incredibly valuable to the ongoing growth of First. And that's the Founders Award, and it's this clock, which I built many years ago, and it goes year after year to somebody else. And it's particularly a clock to remind people that time keeps moving on, and next year we need to do more and recognize more people that help make this happen. But before, and there's two other traditions, by the way, that I'm involved in. And again, if you're not a rookie, you know I give homework. And another is I have a special request in the way we thank everybody. And I'm going to get to those two pieces of our tradition right after this. But I want to make one observation and give you one question first. My observation is that we have just seen some incredibly intense competition, pure competition among robots. From the first LEGO League level to the first Tech Challenge level to here in First Robotics level, intense competition. We've seen arms busted off robots. But my observation is that through all that competition, the cooperation that is part of the ethos and the culture of First is stronger than ever. And you see all the kids working together. And under the high pressure of battle, as many of the robots lose, we see nothing but gracious professionalism. We see nothing but support from everybody, for everybody. That's my observation. It's working. First is just a magical place. But my question for all of you is, wouldn't you like to see the whole world acting like First? Wouldn't you like to see the world competing, making things better and better and better? Well, I'm going to get back to that question in a minute, because I think I have an answer to that question. But first, as I said, we get to recognize some organization or sometimes an individual to carry this clock for the next year with the burden of helping us go even further and even faster. I asked the whole board of First, as I do every year, who do they think should get that level of recognition this year? And they came back with a very quick, instant answer. Dean, he's another one of those people that retired from First. In fact, he used to be the guy that ran First. But we need him. We brought him back. He's on the board. He's here with us today. And so the board says it's time to recognize Don Bossi. Get out here. Thank you, Don. So, he's your 2023 Founders Award recipient. Make sure he works hard to earn it. Thank you. So the answer to the question of why doesn't the whole world act like a giant first competition where people work hard, they compete, they share better solutions, they compete to be the best, but they cooperate and support each other. I was trying to think, I like to find a quote that's applicable. And I kept thinking of one that might show the difference between how the world works and how FIRST works, and why you want the world to be like FIRST. And I thought of one from a former president of the United States, Franklin Roosevelt, who said in the middle of World War II, one of the most destructive eras in human history, what he said was, we can't always build the future for our youth. We must build our youth for the future. He was right. And what he said back then is every bit as relevant today. And if you look at how FIRST operates, and you really do imagine our ethos and our principles more effectively guiding cultures around the world, it will be a much better place. So here's my homework. The context of my homework, as I've said since day one, we've got to get what happens at FIRST to be more spread to more kids more quickly all over the world. I've given homework that most people said wouldn't work, like let's get the whole Congress and Senate to approve the ability to make a commemorative coin, a silver dollar that for the first time in the history of the United States had a private organization first on it and a teacher on it, and we did it. We got it done, right? And we did that because I asked every team to talk to your legislators and tell them that it was important to you. And no one team, no one individual could have done it, but collectively, we did it. So, as I said, tradition around here is homework and a thank you. But in addition to traditions, we need to change over time. We need to adopt new things. So I'm going to change the homework a little this time, and I hope the students are really going to like this change, because instead of asking you to do the homework, I'm going to ask you to give homework to a few critical groups, including the entire staff of FIRST. You're going to give homework to Chris Moore and his whole team. Because what we're going to tell Chris is there are fantastic stories out there. Almost every team that's been involved in FIRST has an incredible story about the impact that FIRST has had on so many people. But he and his team, who I'm always beating on to grow FIRST, more and more teams around the country and around the world, needs those stories. So I'm going to ask every team here to write the best, most compelling proof with facts about what FIRST has done for you, your team, and your community. And you're going to deliver that, all of it, to Chris and his team. Then I can go and tell him, Chris, you better deliver a lot more growth next year based on all of this powerful information you have. And I expect when we get together next year, we're going to be way bigger. First Lego League, First Tech Challenge, First Robotics, because they're all going to be watching, along with me. So you got the homework. You better deliver. The second thing that I'm going to change this year, and then I'll sit down and shut up and let you see the championship match. Every year since we started, I would point out that none of the people that make this possible are doing it for me. So I always say it would be kind of pathetic for me to stand here and thank them. And I always end up saying, and it's always been very, I think, exhilarating to me, I would say, I want all the kids to stand up and show how much they appreciate everybody, and they would do it. But this time, I'm not going to do that. Just like I'm asking you now to help me give the homework, not do the homework, I got a new plan here. I can't be the only one that's not a student that is seeing the incredible imagination, commitment, effort, brilliance of all the kids on all the teams. I'm not the only one that's watched how much you people have grown. I can't be the only one that is inspired by the kids. When I formed FIRST for inspiration and recognition of science and technology, my model was, I'm going to get world-class people from the world of tech to inspire kids to work hard in the field of science and technology. And we were supposed to be inspiring you. I can't be the only one in this place that, in fact, is inspired by all the kids. And it occurred to me that the reason we have 200,000 volunteers, the reason that we have so many people dedicated to making all this happen is because they also are inspired by the quality and the action and the attitude of all the kids on all the teams. So this year, I'm going to say to all the kids, why don't you just sit there, and everybody that's not a kid on a team is going to stand up and show you how much they appreciate what you're doing for your generation and the world. So now you're going to get back to watching a few robots win. But it's not just a statement that we make. I really want everybody in this room to put this in your permanent memory, that everybody here is a huge winner. Everybody here is lucky that they're here. And what I really hope is that every one of you, the students and everybody else, puts this deep in your memory and in your soul, and as you go on to college and on to careers, and we build a world that you wish acted like FIRST, you can make that world by helping us spread what we do. And when you see tough times and there's high pressure and you're frustrated and you're anxious, just remember back to what this community has done for you and think about what we ought to be doing for the rest of the world with this very, very special thing called FIRST. Thank you.